What's up guys, how are you all doing? Today I'm bringing you the continuation of the main story of the Dragon Ball Hakai manga. As you know, the main story had taken a break to tell a side story that shows us the past of the first Super Saiyan god, Yamoshi. But since a lot of people missed the main story, we decided to go ahead and release the next chapter. In this video, I'm going to start telling you chapter 44 of Dragon Ball Hakai, bringing you part 1 of this chapter. I hope you enjoy it. But just a reminder, if you want early access to the Dragon Ball Hakai manga pages, all you have to do is sign up for our Patreon. By supporting us on Patreon, you'll see the Dragon Ball Hakai pages before anyone else, and you'll also get early access to the channel's videos, including the Dragon Ball Hakai ones. And by helping through Patreon, you're literally helping keep this story going, since it's no exaggeration to say that Dragon Ball Hakai is only continuing here on the channel thanks to our supporters. If you're interested in helping us out, click the link in the video description or the pinned comment to check out our Patreon and see if it's something you'd be into, alright? And if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Hakai, go ahead and leave a like on the video, drop a comment and share this video with someone else you think might enjoy the story. That way, the video will reach more people and more folks will get to know our work. Anyway, let's stop stalling and get straight to what matters. Stay connected in the channel and let's go to the video. Hakai. The title of chapter 44 of Dragon Ball Hakai is The Final Minute. The chapter begins with a group of people talking around a campfire on the planet Vegeta, decades in the past. In this group are Goku, Gine and Bardock's elite team, made up of Fasha, Tora, Shugesh, Borgos and Bardock himself. After all the chaos Goku caused while disguised as Torles, things have finally calmed down, and this first day of Goku on planet Vegeta, which had been pretty hectic, ends in a more peaceful way. Bardock is telling the group what happened at the meeting with King Vegeta, when he took Torles to the castle after Torles fought his team. He finishes telling the story by saying that the king decided to give Torles a chance to redeem himself, but to do that, Torles has to fight in the summer tournament and perform well, or else he'll be executed. When Gina hears that Torles might be executed, she becomes unexpectedly worried. She then asks Torles if he's not nervous about that, since the standards to impress the king aren't exactly low. But Goku isn't worried at all. On the contrary, he smiles casually and says he's fine, since he's going to train and do really well. Given Goku's power level, he really has no reason to be concerned, since he could easily defeat everyone there on planet Vegeta without even using 1% of his power. Bardock continues the story, now complaining that the worst part is that the king insisted he also participate in the summer tournament, which he didn't wanna do. Borgos doesn't understand why Bardock is upset about it, since this tournament is a great opportunity for them, low-class soldiers, to prove their worth to the king. Fasha shares Borgos' opinion. She smiles and says she's going to participate too. In her view, she's strong enough to be a captain of her own team. The problem is that the higher-ups don't see that. But if she wins the tournament, she's definitely going to get promoted. Shugesh is also interested in the tournament, but in his case, it's the prize money that matters. Maybe he wants to use the prize to buy food, but for Bardock, none of that matters. He's not interested in earning more money or in getting promoted. It seems like for Bardock, things are fine the way they are now. Tora says that even so, it'll be cool to have Bardock participating. He says that with Bardock in the tournament, he'll be able to beat him and become the captain of the team. Bardock replies that that's only going to happen in Tora's dream. So it looks like Tora also wants to join the tournament, but to prove that he can be better than Bardock. Maybe there's a friendly rivalry between them. Goku is happy to hear that everyone there is going to participate, and he says that's really cool. But Goku's image still isn't all that great with the group, and all 4 of them reply that they're going to beat the crap out of him there. So it seems like Fasha wants a promotion, Borgos wants recognition, Shugesh wants money, Tora wants to prove he's better than Bardock, and all of them want to beat up Goku. Goku tells them to calm down, saying that what happened earlier is in the past, but it looks like they are not going to forget that so easily. Fasha smiles and looks over at Jean. She asks if Jean's going to relive her days as a soldier and join the tournament too. Jean doesn't even have to think. She says no, and that she's perfectly fine the way she is. Goku asks Gine if she was a warrior too, and in that moment he almost calls her mom, but stops at the last second. Tora is the one who who answers his question, saying that Jine used to be part of their squad, but he adds that the problem was Jine was too peaceful for the battlefield, and she always ended up getting into trouble. Fasha continues the story. She says that Bardock was always the one saving Jine, and that's how the two of them ended up falling in love. At that moment, Borgos and Shugesh stand up and start teasing Bardock and Jine. Shugesh starts imitating Jine in an exaggerated way, pretending to thank Bardock for saving her with his big strong arms. And Borgos mimics Bardock, saying that his love for Jine makes him stronger and asking her to have a child with him. Bardock gets super pissed and embarrassed by all this and yells that of course that's not how it happened. Everyone starts laughing at Bardock, including Goku and Jine. After a while, the little get-together starts winding down, and while Bardock is saying goodbye to his team, Goku and Jine take a moment to talk. Jin thanks Torles for saving her from that energy blast from Bardock. Just to recap, when Bardock and Goku met, Bardock fired an energy attack at Goku, and since Goku was in shock seeing his father, he wasn't going to dodge, but Jine jumped in front of Goku to protect him, and only then did Goku snap back to reality and react to save her. In fact, it was because of that moment that Goku kind of won Bardock over, since he saved Bardock's wife. After Jine thanks him, Goku says that actually he should be the one thanking her, since she just jumped in front of him to protect him from Bardock. Of course, Goku is insanely powerful, and Bardock's energy attack wouldn't have even scratched him, but nobody there knows that. On the other hand, Jine probably would have died or at least been seriously injured if the attack had hit her. But after thanking Jine for protecting him, Goku gets curious about why she did it, since it's not common for someone to risk themselves like that to protect a person they don't even know. When Goku asks her that, Jine immediately gets a little embarrassed, not really knowing how to answer. She says she doesn't even know the reason herself. She explains that inside the restaurant, she saw his face and thought he looked a lot like Bardock, which made her curious. So when Bardock launched that attack at him, for some reason even she doesn't understand, she just felt like she had to protect him. But even though Jine says that out loud to Goku, in her thoughts she reveals something else. The truth is, she felt a very strong urge to protect him, like her deepest instincts wanted to defend him. So she just jumped in front of the attack without thinking twice. In the end, not even Jine has the slightest idea why she did that. But we know the real reason is that her maternal instincts kicked in, even though she doesn't know that this guy is actually her son. To break the awkward silence after Goku's question, Jine tells him he doesn't need to talk to her so formally, calling her mom and all. After all, from what she can tell, they're about the same age, and he might even be older than she is. Only then does Goku realize that, and he scratches his head a bit nervously, saying she's right. If he doesn't want to raise any suspicions, he's going to have to get used to speaking to his parents in a more casual way. Jine remembers that Torles said he came from the desert, so she's curious to know what he's going to do to get by around there. Since he supposedly isn't used to life in society, she wants to know how he plans to support himself and where he's going to live. Goku hadn't thought about that yet. He tells her that he'll probably have to live on the streets and hunt to survive. I think that's probably not going to be a problem for Goku, since he knows exactly how to take care of himself. When he was a kid, he lived just fine on his own in Mount Pauzu, hunting and fishing to survive. Of course, back then, he lived in Grandpa Gohan's house and not on the street, but even so, he should be able to manage just fine. But the one who definitely won't allow that is Bardock. He approaches Goku and Jine after saying goodbye to the others, saying that there's no way Torles is going to live on the streets. Bardock says that King Vegeta placed Torles under his responsibility, so he can't let Torles wander around doing random things. Bardock says there's a house near theirs that's available for rent, and Torles can live there for now. And to support himself, he can work with Gain at the restaurant. Goku doesn't object to that, and neither does Jin. Goku is about to thank Bardock by calling him father, but he corrects himself at the last second and calls him brother instead. Just to remember, Bardock thinks Torles is some half-brother born from another woman somewhere out there. Bardock also says they need to do something about the clothes Torles is wearing, since that outfit belonged to a group of criminals, and part of the trouble Goku had with the planet's soldiers was because of that. It's an offense for Torles to be walking around wearing those clothes, so they need to be changed. Bardock asks Jine to grab one of his clothes and give it to Torles, and Jine agrees. Sometime later, Goku had put on that outfit of Bardock's. Jine liked how it looked on him, saying it looked really good. She asks Bardock if he thinks so too, but Bardock acts indifferent and says, whatever. Goku, now showing off his new appearance, which even has a more casual and relaxed vibe compared to the last outfit, admits that this kind of outfit isn't his favorite, but he thinks it doesn't look bad. But Bardock doesn't care about clothes. His concern is something else. He tells Torles to prepare really well for the summer tournament, because Torles' life, and maybe even his own, depends on it. He gives Goku a very serious look and asks if they're clear. Goku replies in a very formal way, even calling him sir, but then Goku remembers that he can't be too formal with Bardock, so he completely changes his tone and tries to force a more casual vibe, calling Bardock bro. Giant bursts out laughing at that, while Bardock gets a bit grumpy. And this is where I'm going to end this first part of chapter 44 of Dragon Ball Hakai. If you enjoyed this first part of the chapter, leave a like on the video, comment, share it with someone you think might like it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, alright? For Dragon Ball Hakai to keep going here on the channel, it's super important that these story videos get a good amount of views, since producing a manga is expensive and takes a lot of effort, and we need to see the financial return from it too. And again, if you want to help us in a more direct way and get early access to the pages and videos of Dragon Ball Hakai, along with other benefits, subscribe to our Patreon. And there's one more important thing. Unfortunately, due to technical issues, we're no longer able to publish the Dragon Ball Hakai manga pages on our website, and right now we're not in a position to do the maintenance the site needs. So the new manga chapters of Dragon Ball Hakai, whether the main or side story, are only available on our Patreon. If you want access to the Dragon Ball Hakai pages during production, early access to the story videos, and access to full chapters when they're ready, subscribe to our Patreon. The link to learn more and see if it interests you is in the video description and pinned comment. Well, that's it folks. See you next time. I'm out.